Hey folks, how you doing? Hey baby, how many I can't read this. I don't have this information on my screen. Uh Baby, how many thumbs up did we get
We got
before I started streaming? Like right now.
we got 26.
How many?
26?
26 thumbs up?
Yeah.
Oh my god. And wow, and that's despite somebody giving it a thumbs down. That's why I gave it troll alert. Folks, that's a new record. As far as me keeping track, Dragon could probably tell you the best record we've ever had. He keeps track on that stuff better than me. And of course, I'm talking about Christian, Divining Dragon, and that's all. That's important on these streams because if we get to 50 while I'm still streaming, and especially if we get to 50 early, then we get a larger audience. The YouTube algorithm will spit out the stream to other people's home pages and going, oh, well, a stream's going and they're talking about Led Zeppelin or Robert Plant or whatever he's talking about. And they'll click on, and it's on nights like that when we get those early thumbs ups that we often break records as far as how many people we got viewing, things like that. Okay. So, just to kind of introduce myself, because folks, we've got a lot of new tribal members. My name is Michael Noland. The name of the channel is The Bottom Line, or Michael Noland, The Bottom Line. And tonight is Tribal Forum number 82. Now, the Tribal Forum's a bit different than the rest of the channel, although it is tied into the channel, into its blood system, right? But the rest of the channel, I do shorts, I do dedicated videos, I do polls. We'll be talking about one of those tonight. Um, I do membership videos and everything else. But this is when I get a chance. My wife and I, Kimberly, who is my producer, it's as much her show as it is mine because while I ramble on, to quote a Led Zeppelin tune, she's the one that stays directly in touch with you. And baby, all I can say is I certainly appreciate you doing this.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
Did you hear her, folks? I love it. I
Yeah,
love
I
it.
love it. You
Trust
guys are
me.
so awesome. The tribe is so awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
And as far as the rest of what I do on the channel, I mean, she's a polite wife, and she will listen to me if I, say what I'm doing, or if I do another video that has nothing to do with this, and she's supportive of me. All right. But other than that, I'm kind of on my own, always have been. I have a good family support, which allows me to do this, but I'm on my own. And I've run the channel pretty much on my own. But when we started the Tribal Forum on January 18th of this year, 81 Tribal Forums ago, uh, she was going to do it once. I thought I could get her maybe three times to get my feet wet, and she fell in love with you guys.
Oh,
And
yeah.
so she does this for you folks more than she does it for me. She is the co host tonight, always is, always will be. You have dubbed her the tribal queen. I agree. She's the family queen, that's for sure. And I'm your humble tribe master. All right. And that's not something I made up for myself. You guys have been calling me that for years. I sign off my videos with "We are the tribe," right? And yeah, a lot of you would just go, "Hey, tribe master," in your comments. And over the years, and I still didn't hang on to it until I started streaming. And I go, the tribal forum. Well, it needs a tribe master. Now, tribe master doesn't mean I'm all in control. All right. I welcome differing opinions on what I'm saying. Stay respectful. All right. But differ all you want, you know. And if you want to use a damn or a hell or what the blank, and it's done in good taste, nobody's going to knock you out of the park for that. Okay. It's the other comments that'll get you knocked out of the park, and we'll be talking about that later. We're going to get right to it tonight. I won't take me too long to get down past channel business because tonight we're going to be talking about how Led Zeppelin's Robert Plant gives no quarter as he ages because the dude is as Led Zeppelin as ever, baby. I mean, it gets right down to that, and we're going to be talking about that. And I'm going to make my case, and I know a lot of you early birds that came in, a lot of your comments. I'm going to cover two of them here. Agree with me about this album. Now, what do I think about it? We'll get to that in a minute here. But first of all, I've got to cover some channel business. I do this very quickly, especially on a Sunday night. This will take but a tick or two, folks. Troll alert, troll alert. I already said we had a troll earlier. He was given, public lease on a other stream earlier today. And whenever that happens, you energize the little bunny, but you guys know who I'm talking about. And so just be on the lookout there. He comes in many disguises. He has a lot of fake accounts. And you got to kind of knock them down as they come. And if I get to him, I'll actually report him if indeed. Oh my goodness.
Deuce is wild.
Deuce is wild. Is that what is that, a $10?
Yeah, $9.99.
A $10 super thanks. Let me grab that real quick. I always highlight these folks for new viewers because these folks support the channel. But I do these videos for you, the viewer. I want this stream to be watchable to the average viewer. But these folks are supporting the channel. Channel's gone through really tough times, but we're recovering. We're going to go over that. And Deuce has been there right along. Oh my goodness, we have another one here, don't we?
Oh my goodness.
My buddy Royce.
RGX just came in.
I'd say my buddy Royce is in the house, except that that might confuse people because Royce in the house as a channel no longer exists. Do you know he changed it, baby?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's now called the Four Horsemen.
That's right.
Yeah.
I love that.
I'll get to you in a minute, buddy. It's good to see you out there. And by the way, folks, I'm going to read Deuce here first and then Royce's. Royce has a channel called The Four Horsemen. And what he has rebranded this channel. It used to be called Royce in the House. So if you've been looking for Royce in the House, couldn't find it, a lot of you have told me that. Be sure just to type in the four, use the number four, don't type out four, the Four Horsemen. There's several channels of that, but you'll see Four Horsemen galloping side by side on the icon. That's the one. Hit that. And tonight we're going to be talking about the Who, baby. So tonight we've got one hell of a couple of shows for you. First of all, it's a Led Zeppelin kind of night here on the Bottom Line or the Tribal Forum. And over on the Four Horsemen, that means there's four on the panel. Royce is Resurrection, Dan is Conquest, Chris Elliott, Dan McNew, I might say, from Just the Facts Man. Both of those gentlemen are brother channels to the Bottom Line. All right, I firmly endorse them. And then our wonderful Chris Elliott is the horse Peace, or the rider of the horse Peace. I'm just the horse. I'm War Horse over there. And we're going to have a discussion on the Who tonight. Over here, it's Led Zeppelin, baby. Oh. It's got a great night, man. After Halloween, it's still kind of a Halloween-y kind of weekend.
Hey,
man, you got to get heavy. Yeah, baby.
Gear Jam sent in 5 the Bottom Line gift memberships.
Oh, my goodness. It's been a while since we've gotten those.
Much.
Gear Jam, thank you. I'll get down to you, all of you guys. I'll go through this. Again, it won't take much longer. And if it does take a little longer because we're getting super thanks, don't worry. I'll go over the 6 o'clock hour. I've been known to hang out as late as 6:15, 6:18. That gives me just enough time to switch off and to get over to Royce's. So we're going to cover everything that I've got planned tonight. Deuces Wild says, remember, Robert Plant will forever be the golden god because Deuce is Wild said so. Well, if Deuce says it, I believe it. What about you, baby?
I think so, too.
I think he's an authority.
Oh, my goodness, yes.
Never mind the fact that I already thought that.
boy, I learned so much from
Yeah.
him and everyone
You
here.
know, I look at Robert Plant's face, and it reminds me of that song that I think is yours and my song by Carlisle, who
Oh,
did
oh, Belinda Carlisle.
the story.
Yeah, the
You know,
story. I love
the
that.
lines across my face, we're all
Oh
written for
yeah,
you type of thing.
such a love
I
ballad.
still see, those etchings and those, of course, an older guy would say this, are the awards of life. You can only hope to get those wrinkles. And the man has had so much tragedy. He's had such great successes. He's had to stand alone, and especially over the last decade, be a real rock star, while other real rock stars from the past have taken the easy road. And Robert Plant has never done that. He is my favorite singer in rock and roll. He is my favorite singer, bar none, in any genre, including the likes of Frank Sinatra, Ella Fitzgerald. You could go back to Billie Holiday. All right, anything that has any attachments to rock and roll or pop music, I think Robert Plant in his prime was the very best that rock and roll has ever had to offer. And after that, his ability to adapt his voice when he lost his range, right? And all I see is that golden god, brother. That's all I see when I see these etched. Matter of fact, the thumbnail of this stream, you've got on the left side a very etched older Robert Plant, and in the middle is him in his prime, bare chested, and then over on the right is him
Oh my
in
goodness.
his solo career.
Oh,
Oh
Storm
my
Cop
goodness.
is here.
Oh, Storm
Oh my
Cop.
gosh, it's so. Oh,
Oh,
that is so
Oh,
wonderful.
I hope you're
Thank you,
doing
Storm
well.
Cop.
I
You
hope you're
sent us
doing well.
a $10 super thanks.
And I'm going to get to these
Oh,
folks.
I'm so glad he's
Storm Cop
here.
is the one guy, that Super Thanks ain't the first one he's ever left. And Storm Cop started all of that. He was the first subscriber. I may have gotten one or two, like a $2 Super Thanks here or there, maybe two before he came in. But they were like 3 months apart and quite unexpected, not something that kind of caught on. And then he started
Oh,
way
wait,
before I
wait,
started
wait.
streaming. I'm got to catch
Rockin'
up here, huh?
Robinbird came in with a
Right.
super thanks. Oh
Thank you,
my
Rockin'
goodness.
Robinbird.
Rockin' Robinbird
Swinging the
here
deuce hammer.
always.
We'll talk about that in a
Yeah.
minute. Right.
Oh,
But
thank you,
you know what?
Robinbird.
It was James who he's Storm Cop 55. I'm hoping that 55 stands for 1955, brother, because that was the year rock and roll started, and it was the year I was born. I was born for rock and roll, right?
Yeah.
So if that's true, James and I are about the same age, right? He's retired. He's had a hard time, folks. We've seen this man go through two tornadoes and then wind up in the hospital. He hasn't let us know that. That's his private business, but he was in the hospital. We had people asking. I was holding off, holding off, holding off. And I finally sent him off an email. I didn't hear anything. And then I sent him one more, and I thought I'll hold back for a while after that. And he got right back to me saying that he's back home. So maybe he was still in the hospital when I sent the first one and in no condition to even read emails. But he says recovery's been slow from whatever he's going through. James and anybody in the tribe that's going through tough times, our prayers and thoughts, our best wishes, our grooviness, what as such as it is, we lend it out to you, right? Because life is a jungle. Then you die. We all know that. None of us get out of this alive, and whole lot of us are getting up there in age, brother. But we love you dearly, and it's so good to see you in the chat. I'll get to your comment here in a minute. I got to catch up here. Gear Jam, thank you so much. Five memberships. Now, the YouTube algorithm will spit these out to those of you who are viewing that based on its knowledge of whatever your name is or how often you've been in or maybe if you come from a rock channel or you've done other things, it has whatever information and it'll spit it out to people it thinks will take advantage of this, right? So this right here is like a $25 super thanks. I strongly urge you to take it. I'm catching up really good. We're closing in on 150 videos that are over on my membership. And when you join here, these 5 memberships, you will become a tribal elder. You can even opt into the second tier and become a tribal chieftain. This is all serious, folks. To me, this isn't just a way of marketing or anything else. This is me. Okay, you're supporting the channel now full time, month to month. You should get a ranking amongst the tribe. I believe in the tribe. All right. And I'm an old salesman. And Dale Carnegie taught me the best salesmen always believe in their product. All right. Now, it's not that this channel is a product, but that's as an old salesman, that's what I embrace in everything that when I come across with somebody and I'm saying, "God, hear this album," it's because I believe in it and I believe in what we're doing here. So, Gear Jam, thank you. We could use those as a matter of fact, because I'm gearing up on the channel membership. It's taking in. It's going to be taking in a whole new flavor than what I anticipated, and I told you guys on my last uh, thing. Although or video discussing tribal business. Sometimes I do that. Sometimes videos over there are portions of panel discussions I have with Royce. Sometimes there are videos over there with some of my demos. I'm a singer songwriter. All right, you got to hunt for a lot of
Oh
it,
my
right?
goodness.
Oh my goodness!
Oh, just the facts, man.
God damn the man! We were talking about you,
Yeah.
Mr. Conquest
Thank you
himself.
so
I'll
much,
be right with you,
Dan.
Dan. Like I said, Dan is one of 2 brother channels on this, and one of 4 channels that I heavily support. Vance or Zapporal's channel, I heavily support. He's like an honorary tribal chieftain himself and an honorary 4 horseman. There's just no doubt about it. The man is so knowledgeable. If you're out there, Vance, I sure have appreciated your support. All right. And condolences, brother. You know what I'm talking about. Roy says, love the tribe. This show is very special. Yes, it is, Royce. And I've got a lot to say about that. I got to catch up so I can get to talking here. Storm Cop 55. I sure have missed you guys. Oh, God. Storm Cop James, we've missed you. Uh, People talk about you when you're not here. Uh, we have a key, probably 50 to 60 people that do a lot of communication while we're live. We have others, but there's 50 of you out there that could show up at any time. And I have pictures of what all of you look like. And you probably don't even look like it, but you got to kind of put a face to the name. And so I feel like I've come to know so many of you. Rockin' Robin Bird swung a deuce hammer, $2. Now, you've seen some larger ones than this. These are the key exponents that keep this channel alive. A lot of people, yeah, $10. Well, that's a little steep. Christmas is coming up, with Thanksgiving, you know, but, and you go, and I could do $2, but he doesn't want $2. Listen, we get several of those. There's been shows where we have gotten up to $60 in $2 super thanks. They mount up over 2 shows, I should say. All right. One night we got like 35 and then the remainder or 36, however it works out. Thank you, Rockin' Robin, the divine Rockin' Robin, Marshall Rockin' Robin. All these people are marshals. Oh, and by the way, Christopher Francis, you've just been promoted to tribal marshal. Everybody congratulate him. As I get to know you, and if you show up just before the show, I will deputize you, right? And Christopher Francis, I said he was the fastest I've ever deputized. That's not true, actually, because when we first started streaming, there was a bunch of you. I just started deputizing you before you even asked on the first stream, right? Adding you as what other more common channels call moderators. We don't have moderators, we have marshals, and they are fully endowed to take you in, right? And but those were the people that have been with me for years. Ever since we got our core marshals, I've had to kind of wait and see how each of you are talking, how you're getting along with the group, what you have to offer, and everything. And if I see you early on the stream, I always check in. I'll hit that. Okay, there's been a few times I've missed the opportunity, but if I'm able, sometimes I'm writing notes and everything at the last minute. I will always deputize you. So the marshals have grown by 2 in the last week. Congratulations. Just the facts, man. Dan the man. Oh, $10 super thanks. And he says, saw Led Zeppelin in you're going to just grind that into me, aren't you, Dan? He says, in concert one time, Robert Plant 3 times. Oh, boy. And saw him one time in a local record store. Oh, like uh, buying some vinyl all by himself. I did not I did not approach him. Oh, I would have. I would have just. I did that at a Alan Parsons project, and after the show, he was just kind of standing off to the side, and I walked up to me. I just walked up to him. I say, I know you've heard this a billion times, man, but I just want to thank you for half a lifetime of great music, man. And he said, well, thank you. And he shook my hand firmly. Real nice guy. I would have done that. And of course, I'm kind of teasing Dan when I say because I never saw Led Zeppelin. I had tickets to see Led Zeppelin, and then Robert Plant's son Carrick died, and they canceled out my last opportunity to see them. Biggest disappointment in my concert career, folks, was not seeing Led Zeppelin when I had the tickets in my hand, baby. You know, and we're going to talk about Robert Plant touring today and whether I'm going to go see him. Okay, so that's coming up. Did I get everybody, or was there one more? Okay, good. That catches me up. Uh, the channel has grown to 46,000. One of you, I forget which one of you, congratulated me on that. You got to congratulate yourselves. This is your victory, right? This is your tribe. I just speak first, but you guys own this thing, right? You're the thing that makes this thing go round. Okay, don't ever forget that. We're at, like I said, we're just about ready to hit 12.7 million views in about 4 years. 4 years and a couple of days now. On the 28th of October was my 4th year anniversary, and we're now into the 5th year of the channel, but we're still in the 4th year of the bottom line being a rock channel, because originally I was a tech channel. And I changed it in 2022, January or February 15th. Okay. So this coming February will be our 4th anniversary of the bottom line as a rock channel. Many of you are being unsubscribed. We've talked about it, still remains a problem. We've just had such a growth spurt that it's far outweighed the taking away of subscriptions on the back end. It's not coming from folks who are just tired of the channel, tired of hearing me. And I've talked about that. Just trust me and watch my other streams, and I explain it more. But I want to get down to things. I'm not going to, well, all right. Images backwards. We're getting that corrected by February. I ordered new microphones, both for Kimberly and I. So, but they charged me double and were going to send me twice. So I had to cancel that out. As soon as I'm reimbursed, I'll reorder it, and she'll be on mic and I'll be on mics instead of you hearing her being picked up on my headphone mics. And these will be nice lavalier microphones. So the vocal will sound less like we're on an AM radio and perhaps a little closer to FM, right? But these are backwards. We'll change that. These are the 2 tribal mugs. A lot of you want to support us, but hey, what do I get besides you reading my super thanks? Well, here you get something. This is the original tribal mug. Look at that crowd of people, nondescript, all different sizes, shapes, all different sexes, and you can bet your ass different nationalities. The tribe is worldwide. We've talked about that. We have subscribers in Australia, New Zealand, Germany, France, uh, England, Ireland, Scotland, Canada, America, United States, I should say, Mexico, Central America, name a country, and South America. We have subscribers in Hawaii and Japan.
Well,
All right. And we've got several from the Mediterranean area.
and Canada, we've got
Yeah, I mentioned Canada.
yeah,
Right.
Dwayne New Lady.
Right. And this one is based on a sketch I did, and again it says we are the tribe, and there's the tribe assembled on a mythical island with a monolithic Les Paul tilted with age to guide them to the rock and roll promised land.
Royce said hi to Soul Train Bro.
Oh, is Soul Train in?
Yes, I just don't see
Wayne
that handle, but Royce said.
You know what? I got to take a moment for Wayne.
Soul Train Bro is so.
Oh, Wayne, if you're out there, I sure appreciate you being on my stream. Uh, you know what? This channel, in our neck of the woods, it's gotten to be a pretty big channel. Out of all the content creators I know, we're bigger than the average bear in our quadrant of the universe anyway. Still a tiny channel compared to those who have 100,000 or a million plus. But Wayne from Soul Train Pro, and I've brought him up many times on this channel, saw something in me. Now, at the time, I think I was growing pretty quick for a brand new channel. Didn't know what he was doing. I had got myself up in about 4 or 5 months to 750-ish, right? And then it was Helene Spalding, who was a subscriber to both our channels and a longtime subscriber to his, made note of me and uh, put a bug in his ear. And he took two of my videos, played them all the way through, him making remarks and everything, and had nothing but kind words to say about me.
Well,
and I got to tell you, Wayne.
He says right now, he says, I'm in camp. So I don't know if you can see this, but I catch you whenever I can, bro.
Oh man.
Yeah, he's a.
Well, Wayne is the guy, and Wayne is out in camp. I believe he's a line cook. Am I right, Wayne? Um, and man, yeah, I'll tell you, don't let that title fool you. He's classic rock all the way. I left him a message on one of his latest, and I told him I shouted you out, but I shouted him out for doing a great tribute on John Lodge. I had it in my head.
David L. just sent 10 bottom line gift membership.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, David. Oh, thank you so much. That's
my God, that's like, yeah, wow. That's like a $50 super thanks.
Oh,
thank you so much. If you get them, I can guarantee you're going to find something over there that's going to tickle your fancy. Right? And if you listen to my music, understand you got to watch my latest video, by the way, which is a small section of the Four Horsemen. Royce allows me to do that. That's by his permission, right? I'm not stealing that content or anything. He encourages me to do it, in fact. And this one, we did a great stream last week, and for some reason, the views weren't as big on either one of our channels that we normally get. This one's well over 940 views right now, which I usually get about 1,000 to 1,500. Sometimes I'll get 8,000 views on a Royce. But the average is that. And for me, if I get 1,000, I feel really good. So if any of you could go out and watch it, let's top that sucker off to 1,000. Then I'll feel better about that video. But that video is one of the best Royce videos I've ever put together. Everybody gets a chance to talk. Okay, it's not just me. Often when I put those things together, I have to feature me heavily because people are coming to my channel to watch me, and so I try. It's always been hard to get a good conversation going with all four horsemen, and feature enough of me that my viewers would want to watch it. And this time, I think I hit a damn good balance. Royce told me he thought I did too. So both his stream and my video of it are worth watching, folks. Afterwards, all right. That was a great stream, and I appreciate it. And Wayne, by the way, when I was at seven, he had over 20,000 subscribers. So he was the big cheese on the block. Now, he had to give up being full time on his channel because he's out at camp. He's a line cook. He had family obligations and everything. And anytime Wayne ever comes back full time, brother, you have my full 100% backing, 100%. And I encourage everybody to go over to his channel and sub him out because you know what? A lot of you wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Wayne and Helene Spalding, right? And you love Led Zeppelin? Oh, he's got tons of stuff on Led Zeppelin, man. The man is a rock brother for sure. Okay, so let's get back to my notes here. Um, there we go. Yeah, I was going to discuss the poll. If we've got time at the end, I'll discuss that. But I do want. We had such a bigger intro than I anticipated. Where are we at? 4:32, 5:32. Yeah, I think I can get through this by shortly after 6 anyway, Royce. So why do I say that Robert Plant is as Led Zeppelin as ever? First of all, I'm going to give you an example. What's the best way to take a look at Led Zeppelin? Well, their very first album. All right, this is them out of the gate. Led Zeppelin 1 or just the album Led Zeppelin, right? It's on that album. It was a major showcase for the blues that the band members were rabid fans of. As a matter of fact, they developed as musicians, being fans mainly of the blues. And in many cases, there were short showcases and interpretations of old blues songs on that album. We're not going to get into whether Led Zeppelin actually wrote this versus them ripping off a blue. That's a totally other stream tonight. I want to stay focused that for whatever reason, whether right or wrong, the band were showcasing interpretations of these old blues songs. The bands took their instruments, lead guitar, right? Bass, vocals, occasional harp, occasional keyboards, and drums, and crafted from that point and made interpretations of classic blues songs. So then we need to take a look at how Robert, because we're going to be discussing Saving Grace tonight. Now, folks, I already told you I was going to get. I had to make my own box set this year because there's no way in hell I'm going to buy that ripoff they're calling Anthology 4 or the entire anthology, and I don't have it, and I kind of would like to have Anthology on LP. But the way the Beatles did this and the fact that they did not release Rubber Soul or Help on their 60th anniversary just pissed me off to the tune. And besides, for those of you who've got Anthology 1, 2, and 3 in whatever format you have, 4, you're only going to get 13 outtakes. And I'll bet you that's not 13 full length songs. I'll bet you some of those are going to be quite short, right? So, not even a single LP's worth of information. So, I decided no. And the Beatles are my number one rock group in all time, but number 2 is Led Zeppelin. So I wasn't going to get this, and this one is, sorry again for the backwards image. This is the 50th anniversary of Physical Graffiti, and this is the version that comes with 3 LPs. You get the bonus material. And I said, since I'm not buying a box set, I'm going to make my own box set. And look at the back cover of this box set, folks. And again, I apologize for the backwards image there, but that's Saving Grace. Robert Plant, right? And Saving Grace. And of course, getting partial top billing is Susie Dion. I love that name because that's Kimberly's second name, spelled a little differently, but I looked it up. Susie Dion. And I thought she was on cello, but all the things I've seen, she's on accordion. So I guess that's her gig. right? So, Saving Grace, let's take a look at this. What do I think of this album? We're going to get to that in a minute, but I want to cover what other people think of this album. All right, before I give my final analysis, which I will hear shortly. First of all, Saving Grace, though, you have to admit, it's a major showcase of the blues and Americana, but Americana is kind of the blues. So I'll just say blues from now on in a way that the band, a genre that the bands are rabid fans of. Okay, just like Led Zeppelin was in Led Zeppelin 1. And with Saving Grace, there are showcases and interpretations of old blues songs or Americana. I couldn't help myself. All right. So, again, just like Led Zeppelin did. And third of all, Robert's band, Saving Grace, by the way, the album's named after the band and everything, they take their instruments. Oh, you've got banjo, acoustic guitar, drums with brushes half the time, right? A different approach to that. Accordion, harmonica, all right, different banjo, different interpretations based on different instruments. But despite that, I still hear Led Zeppelin when I hear this album. For some strange reason, it sounds so freaking Zeppelin to me. All right. In so many ways, Robert has gone back to his roots on Saving Grace. He's gone back to at least Led Zeppelin 1 on this album. Led Zeppelin roots, folks. All right, keep that in mind. And what do the critics have to say about this album? Well, let's see. Uh, mu- Good Lord. Metacritic gives it an 85 out of 100. That's what, about almost a 4.5 star review out of 5, right? The rest of these are based on 5 stars. All Music gives it 4 out of 5. The Arts Dark or Desk, oh, I hate this one, gives it 8 out of 10, 4 out of 5, right? Uh, Gives it 5 out of 5. Sorry, and then it's Clash that gave it 8 out of 10. So the Music Desk gives it a perfect score, 5 out of 5 stars, right? Classic Rock gives it 4 out of 5. Mojo gives it 4 out of 5 stars. Music Om gives it 4 out of 5. Record Collector gives it 4 out of 5. Uncut gives it 4 out of 5 stars. Right? And how is it selling? Well, let's take a look at it. In Austria, it's hit number 33, so it's a top 40 album. In Austrian other let's see, that was, oh, was that Australian? See, it's horrible. I got to get my iPad back. Yeah, Australian. It's number 33. So Australian albums. In Austria, it's number 6, number 46 in Belgium, number 1 in Croatia, International Records. My God. Uh, Cash albums, it's number 61. Dutch, number 44. French albums, 23. But on French rock and music albums, it's number 1 in France, right? So number 12 in Germany, number 6 on German rock and metal list. In Hungary, it's number 6. Let's see. And then finally, in Switzerland, it's number 3. Scotland, it's number 2. Where in where was it? Where I'm from, or my people are from, Irish, it was only number 89, barely hitting the top 100. And of course, in the UK, it's number 4, except for UK Americana albums. It's number 1. They have another list for that. And let's see, in Billboard, it has hit number 18, so it's a top 20 album. A 70-plus-year-old rocker without Jimmy Page is in the top 20. That's a tough list to get on. And top album sales, it's number 17. So we see we have a different reaction over the world, but um, the big buyer companies or countries, I should say, ranked it quite high most of the time. A few of them, I'm not going to get it. I could spin the whole thing on this list, but that gives you an idea. Anywhere from about, they all seem to make the top 100, but some of them got 89, 73, 62, 50, and then 40, whatever. But a ton, just as many. It cracks the top 40, and most of those it cracks the top 20. So it's doing real well in sales. I looked it up. They don't have the numbers, but based on chart positions and the amount of streaming, it's doing extremely well in streaming. Now, I wanted to read a couple of your comments here regarding this album. Christopher Francis, brand new tribal Marshall, said, I'm very much looking forward to this tribal forum. This has been my album of the year so far, and it's not close. You know what, uh, Christopher? I just announced a couple of streams back that it is in contention for top album of the year. Right now, I'm having trouble choosing. It's going to get hit number two for me, definitely, and still may hit number one. But I need to hear a little bit more of Dream Theater's Parasomnia. I'm very impressed with that album. And I was never into Dream Theater. They were mentioned on another stream not too long ago, and the guy made a good case for them, and I got interested. And so I checked out. They have another newer album coming out with some bonus or pre released tracks from that. But I really like that. Let me know what you guys think of Dream Theater. I'm brand new to them. But what I hear on this album, I like, and I always judge a new band by their latest stuff first, right? That's the way I'm gonna take a look at them. Now, Doc Insomnia also said something. He said, and yes, Saving Grace is a nice album for early morning, late in the evening. Perfect chill out music if you go in with no inflated nostalgic expectations of the 70s. A hit in its own right. I couldn't agree more, Doc. Absolutely, I think spot on. Uh, for me, I don't have to adjust my expectations, but maybe I'm a little older than some of you folks, and some of you got, yeah, okay. For my generation, I'll adjust some of my, I don't want, or maybe it's because of our older generation. Some of you are thinking, well, it's got to sound like the old days, right? And we've talked about how Robert Plant has lost a lot of his original range and his vocal power, but he has got rolled with the punches so much, man. That's what I mean. On one of my streams, I said that he ages like a fine wine, right? He gets more mellow, but more refined as he goes along. And he never stops creating, always looking for a new angle. Now, what about the album itself? Um, Let me check here. Yeah, side one is absolutely awesome. Okay. Uh, it's got my least favorite track on it, which is the very first track, Chevrolet. I told you. Now, when I say least favorite, it's like I'm still glad it's on the album, right? I wouldn't have chosen it as an opener for this. I think I would have switched it with track two. But it's an amazing song. Don't get me wrong. But Donovan also did a version of this song, Chevrolet, and he called it "Hey Jip," and that's a much more jangly, syncopated, and that kind of calls to me. But once I sit down with the fact that this album has a generalized style to it, Chevrolet is a fabulous song, right? Now, most of the songs on side one are the shorter songs, except for Soul of a Man. That's 4+ minutes, right? And Soul of a Man is just as good as anything on, what should I say? Side two. Side two is the sweet spot for me, right? And side one sets it up so well. Side one, for the most part, have 3.5, 340, to 2.5, 240 minute 2 minutes and 40 seconds, 3.5 minute, 3:40, something like that. Songs on it, with Soul of the Man being the only cut on side one that's over 4 minutes. Whereas side two is mainly cuts that are 4 minutes or longer, right? And every song on side two to me is a masterpiece, right? Soul of a Man is a masterpiece. And there's another one on side one. I didn't get it. I'd have to look at the list and I don't have it on me. I'm still getting to know this album. Let's see if it's big enough for me to read here on side one. Yeah. Oh, it's a beautiful day. Okay, which at first I didn't care for. And I thought, okay, that's going to be the weak spot. But it develops so well, and it is a wonderful song. So as I've got to know, see, that's why you got to listen to an album in its entirety, folks, sometimes, because sometimes songs won't stand on their own. If he had just done a special rendition of Chevrolet, and fans already had heard Donovan's Hey Jip, I don't know that it would have survived on its own. But in the context of this album, it's absolutely wonderful. There's not a flaw on side two. It's flawless, right? And it is nearly flawless on side one. So, what is Robert's on tour, right? Right now.
Oh my
Oh my
goodness.
goodness.
Deuces Wild
That's a
came
good
in
time to
with
stop
three
there,
thanks
real quick.
again.
Yeah.
Oh, thank
Oh,
you so
goodness.
much,
Oh, boy,
Deuce.
he's been giving a lot tonight.
Oh,
$5
that's
from
great.
Deuces Wild. He says Dream Theater are superhuman musicians. That's what I'm getting. Uh, may I recommend the album Words and Images, a great place to get it rolling in your listening journey. I will. I'll take that on. I get a copy of all of these in YouTube Studio. I'll take a look at that because I'm very interested in them. I backed into them. I had heard the name, somebody said psychedelic heavy metal kind of thing, and I go at the time, but I backed into this, and I got to tell you, I loved it. I've only listened to it once, a couple of tracks twice, to regroove. Oh, is this as good as that one? But in maybe three cuts twice, and the rest of them once. But I loved what I heard, Juices, and I appreciate you bringing that up. I will definitely take care of that. Okay, so we're talking about Robert Plant. He's out on tour now. And will I go? Now, a lot of my longtime viewers know I missed him the last time by this much because I want to see him so bad. I really do. Um, and we're going to be talking about whether I'm going. Now, we first of all, let's talk about a set list. What is he doing? He's doing 14 songs. Yeah, 14 songs. He starts off with the first cut is a song I haven't heard. I haven't found a video of it yet on YouTube called Cuckoo or Cuckoo. It is a traditional song, much I would imagine like what we're seeing on Saving Grace. And the version performed by Robert Plant with his band is a cover of the traditional arrangement. Let's see, as a cover by the version by Clarence Ashley. So evidently, Clarence Ashley's version is a version. So maybe this song goes back so far. There's no one writer or group of writers attached to it. But notice this 14 songs. 14 songs, folks. So that's a tight, powerful show, right? I would imagine that comes in. Well, it depends on how long. Anywhere hour and a half, 2 hours, maybe, if they do a lot of jamming. And this band jams great. But out of those 14 songs, how many are from uh, Saving Grace? Quite a few of them. I see one, two, three, four, five, six, seven. Yeah, 7 out of 14. Half. That's touring an album. Half. And this is a guy who's got hits. Half of his show is based on what he considers the very best of Saving Grace, 7 tunes. And But what else does he cover? Well, he does a cover of Neil Young's "For the Turnstiles." That would be interesting. I'd like to hear that. And that remains five songs, right? There's only five songs left. All Led Zeppelin, folks. Over one third of this show is Led Zeppelin. He starts off with Cuckoo or Cuckoo, Higher Rock, one of my very favorite, if not my very favorite song. Uh, it's tied with two more, I guess, from Saving Grace. Ramble On from Led Zeppelin 2, The Brown Bomber, is the third song in. Soul of a Man, you know what I feel about that. Uh, Let the Four Winds Blow. Oh, and that's from Mighty Rearranger. Okay, I missed that one. Too Far From You, Saving Grace. Rain Song from my favorite Led Zeppelin album, Houses of the Holy. I've seen a rendition of him doing that. I've seen a couple of them. One, he was better vocally than the other. I've seen a couple of shows on it. But oh God, what a wonderful touch to the Rain Song. And the Rain Song has to be either Over the Hills and Far Away, or the Rain Song would have to be, and No Quarter would be tied like for my top cuts on that album. The Ocean ain't too far off that list either. Let's see. So after the Rain Song, he says, "It's a beautiful day today." Was a song I had to get used to, and I heard it today in the morning, Doc Insomnia, and it took on a whole new meaning. God, I loved it. As I roved about from Saving Grace, Everybody's Song, which was the first pre-release from Saving Grace, everybody seems to love that song. For the Turnstiles by Neil Young, and then Friends from Led Zeppelin 3, Four Sticks from Led Zeppelin 4, and he ends the show with Gallows Pose from Led Zeppelin 3. Can you believe that show? So prices, prices are uh, uh, they're reasonable for his super stature. For the back seats, about 150, and they go all the way up to $8,000. Now I know I'm talking about tickets that might include a meet and greet or something like that, but $8,000 a ticket is so far beyond reasonable. But I guess Robert Plant is also there's an argument that he's boutique touring. You know, he's staying away from the stadiums and any kind of band that would put him in the stadiums. And so, meet and greets and everything is part of that kind of business. I don't know what I think about that. I do know $8,000 is beyond anything I could come up with. 150 would be something. Boy, the two of us, it'd take us $300 to go see him there. And the good seats are anywhere from on average. Yeah, and right next to them, you'll find a $1,200, a $3,000, $4,000 ticket, but you can get them from about 350 each to about 650. And of course, these are ticket prices based on searching for two tickets. Your situation may change. For the most part, fair prices, still too expensive for the really good seats for me, right? But to see him, uh, wow, that's such a temptation. Then I looked at where he was playing, Oakland, California. No thanks. Denied. I won't be seeing Robert Plant on tour this year. I used to ride out of Oakland, late 70s through the mid 80s. Then, over the years, or before that, I was an airport coordinator at the airport in Oakland. And then the last time we went, I think Kimberly and I finally we talked it over today, and we seemed to think that it was when we went to see Greta Van Fleet. We were following directions on the phone. I wish I hadn't, and it took us right into the heart of Oakland. No, thank you. No, thank you. Not no. And the traffic on top of that and everything. As a matter of fact, I don't see myself going to see too many more. It'd have to be the right person, even in San Francisco. Traffic and uh, the dregs of humanity are everywhere, despite what Norman Maslow has to say. I've been there quite recently. I guess I don't swing in the neighborhoods he does, but compared to the way it used to be, and like I said, I worked for 8 years in the city. Uh, it's a both cities are a shadow of what they used to be. Oakland was never uh, my favorite. I see early on in my childhood, we used to move 2 or 3 houses a grade. You know, I'd be up to house number 11 by the time I was in fourth grade. But just before we moved to Santa Rosa, which was a very nice town about 60 miles north of San Francisco, I lived in Richmond, and it was yeah, and just a stone's throw from Oakland. So I don't have a lot of good memories about Oakland. And my last experience driving there 4 years ago, 3 years ago, whatever it was not good. Right? Absolutely not good. So for me, I'm not going. But what about you guys? You guys have different venues, maybe. Or I know a lot of you are from my area. A lot of you have written, yeah, I was born here and there and raised here and right down in my neck of the woods. Will you brave Oakland to go see him at the show? And will you have a car when you return for it? But yeah, for me, no, it's a little much. It's a little much in the final analysis. I want to say hi to a few of you before we click off here. So, in my last analysis, Saving Grace, how many stars would I give it? I give it 5. I've bumped it up. It was about 4.5. I give it 5. Um, it stands a good chance of becoming the album of the year for me. One of you asked me what I thought of John Anderson's True album with the band Geeks and compared to Mirror in the Sky. I told you I thought that because Mirror in the Sky was that 2023? Yeah, I think it was my number one pick for that year. And I got Band of Geeks later. And was that even the same year? You'd have to tell me. I'm trying to remember. But I have that. I think they both compare quite favorably to each other. All right. Let's see. Who do we have in here? Kate's in, the lovely Kate's. Oh, geez, I will ditch Michael in Vegas while Kimberly and I go to the Grand Canyon. You won't get me close to the Grand Canyon. Inner ear problem. I get close to, tall cliffs and things like that. Also, I feel gravity sucking me over, Caitlin. You can have the Grand Canyon. Beautiful place. But I don't see myself ever nudging up to it. You know, I've flown twice in my life and it was hell. It was hell. And it was from the East Coast to the West Coast. The first portion of that was a smaller plane with about 50 passengers. And then I was in a 727 with my uncle. That was a lot smoother. But once we hit San Francisco, International, he was blitzed and falling down the escalator. So flying's not my thing either. Not a big flyer. Oh God, look at all these people. We have Val or Vale. I'm trying to remember. Uh, Krinhart, is that how you say it? Welcome. As a matter of fact, let's see, who else do we have here? David's in. Yeah, they're chit chatting tonight,
Oh,
baby.
yeah, they sure
Yeah,
are.
yeah.
Awesome.
Let's see.
Awesome. The tribe that rocks.
Oh, here, Johnsford says, how many more times is one tune he'd do if it was not uh, having Bonzo to play that thunderous opener? Plus, yeah, oh, God. Yeah. Well, and he has also said, John, that he's more interested in translating the songs that are considered not the Zeppelin hits. He says, you've heard those 1,000 times. And he says, and I've sang them 1,000 times. And it's like, I want to sing stuff and do different renditions of the stuff that was just as good as that, but maybe not as popular with casual fans. Although I got to tell you, those cuts he's offering are quite popular with casual fans, I would say, I think. Sarkon the Wolf. I love that. Sarkon. This body. All right, I won't do it again. Uh, saw Plant 2 in New York. Little by Little was my favorite song in that album. Great concert. Yeah, I really love his mid career, early mid career. Post Led Zeppelin. His those albums that came out. I even love Principle of Moments. My favorite would be Now and Then. Definitely. Is this album as good as Now and Then? Yeah, in its own subtle way, it is. I really believe that. And man, what he has done with his voice, with its limitations, is nothing. And to dare always to put a female vocalist to take the higher melody, and he does that John Lennon trick of singing the under harmony. That's often
Oh
what
my
Paul and John
goodness,
Lennon
hon.
would do, and he's doing a
Joseph
ton
Blue
of that.
just came in with a super
Oh my
thanks.
goodness. Joseph
Oh,
Blue, it's so good to
Joseph.
see you. How you
Thank you,
doing, brother?
Joseph.
$5. Thank you so much. He says, I listened to the first quarter of Saving Grace, and you have convinced me to listen again all the way through. I loved what I heard. Yeah. And, it's a type of music that can really get you thinking. Listen to some of the uh the lyrics. The lyrics are great. Americana lyrics, man. Yeah, it just they say it in a plain sort of kind of English I understand. My heart's broken and damn it, I'm pissed. A lot of that type, only much more eloquent than that, and it'll get you thinking. And so I agree with Doc Insomnia. Choose to listen to it early in the morning when the house is still quiet, over a cup of coffee, Java, whatever, you know, or late at night, or as late of a late night that you can have to listen to music, And just, man, I so recommend getting this album on LP. Okay, so the reason I say that, I wish I had gotten the colored. They've got one that has colors that match most of the colors here. I was an idiot. I should have gotten the colored one, uh, just because, But I don't generally buy albums with colored discs. But I looked at as soon as this one arrived, and then I started looking at prices. I saw the colored vinyl, and I go, I want that one. But yeah, you know what, folks? This is a fantastic album. It'll make you think, right? If you don't want to listen to the lyrics and just jive and groove with some of the best musicians on the planet and their alternative approach to some of these Americana songs, I think you're going to love it. I think it's a winner every way. And it is running neck and neck for album of the year for me. All right, folks, it's 6:04. That's when I need to shut down. Wednesdays, I can go a little bit longer. I love each and every one of you. You all know that. And tonight, join me over at Royce in the House. That'll be in about 26 minutes from the clock I'm looking at. From now at 6:30, we're going to talk about the Who, baby. Royce has got all kinds of things to talk about. He's got a
Awesome.
couple of surprises to announce. He's kind of pre-announced those, but it's all coming out in the wash tonight. You got to come on over there and not only watch my good buddy, but subscribe to him. He's had good growth here lately, but we want to sustain that growth. You know, we want to get him to that 7 to a number 8 that you see at the end of his subscribers. Okay, let's get that to 8. That's our first line of duty tonight. All right, folks, I'm Michael Noland. This is the bottom line, right? When I do this, it is the tribal forum. That's a chance that I have to talk to you guys in the here and now. Less so on Sundays, more so on Wednesdays. I spent quite a bit of time talking to the peanut gallery on my last stream. We went well over an hour, close to an hour and a half. And Wednesdays may be getting a little longer as we go further on, and especially with subjects that demand longer time. All right. Okay, so I hope to see you over on the Four Horsemen at 6:30 tonight. I hope you enjoyed the stream. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Where are we at on that right now? 74. Man, we hit 50 big time right away, didn't we, baby?
Yes, we did.
God, that's great.
This tribe is
74 before on a
rocking.
Sunday before I even another 26, and the replay will get a bump up every 50, folks. So whatever you can do to help the tribe out, we all appreciate it. If you're just a viewer, we're all trying to get this thing to grow, right? Okay, folks, I'll see you on Wednesday at 5 p.m. and later tonight in a half hour, less than a half hour, 24 minutes on the Four Horsemen. All right. Good night, folks.